Oh, we're live.
Here we
Hi,
go.
everybody.
After the party is the after party in. After the
After the
party is the hotel
hotel
lobby in.
lobby. Oh my
Welcome to
gosh.
the Easy Speak Easy podcast platform, Pinnacle Partnerships times Easy Speak Easy Pearl Roundtable after show collabo.
Yes, that was awesome. I'm so excited about that roundtable. There were like, I wish there was like a raining gems emoji because it was just like gem after gem after gem after gem of realness, of all of the amazingness of lived experience. And I'm just really excited that we were able to capture that and highlight just how amazing the Pearl service is while also being really down to earth and real about it. It was awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely loved it. I was just like, our pearls are such a vibe.
Literally.
Ugh,
Every one
I
of
mean, there's just
them.
no other word for it. Just such a vibe situation. So for
Literally.
those who are not subscribed to our podcast, you should definitely do that. But just to lay out kind of how we roll here, it's unfiltered mental health and wellness conversations.
Yeah.
And it is a speakeasy. So we always have a little sip going on. So I'm having a little bubbly, Diana.
I'm having just a little vodka cran, you know,
Yep.
a little
Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers. I also, as in true Pinnacle style, immediately spilled half of my drink. And so
A
that's
lot of a lot of
why
people don't know that that was our original tagline because we
the
used to meet at a
first
at a
tagline
dive
ever.
bar post our full-time jobs as we were building Pinnacle, and so we were always exhausted and therefore always spilling drinks. We were too tired.
As we wrote our business plans on our iPads at the smallest pub tables you could possibly find.
Literally.
So yes, that's our vibes here, and we're always talking really. I gotta put all these tissues away. Really, honest conversations, and we definitely felt like after this amazing roundtable that we had that we previously filmed, but we were doing the live chat, that we wanted to have a way that people could reflect on the roundtable or ask questions or just listen to Diana and I talk more about it, because one thing we kind of never get sick of is talking about the pearls and the pearl
Yeah,
service and the work.
absolutely. It was so good. I mean, what was your favorite part? I mean, I it's probably hard to pick a favorite, but there were a couple of moments where I was like, "Yes!" Did you have any of those?
There were a few times where I was definitely like cheering out loud, which
Yeah.
is, you know, an interesting thing, I think, from our position, because obviously like we've had the opportunity to like review and prepare for today, and have watched and given edits and all of that kind of thing, but there's something different about
Yeah.
watching it cut. Biscuit, our chief of snuggles, is over here in a not snuggly way, apparently. There's something different, I think, about like the energy, even online, of
Yeah.
having other people watch with you and knowing that like these gems that are being dropped, like other people are listening to and hearing, and just knowing, we know that people relate to this, right?
Yeah.
That there are so many people out here that are living this struggle every single day. And
Yeah.
so like having it like be live in the world, and it's our first time on this kind of a platform. We're always trying to do something new and innovative and find interactive ways to involve people in these conversations. So it
Yeah.
definitely was like I don't know, it was just like hitting different.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. It was. Yeah, it's like when you know other people are watching with you, you hear a little bit differently, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So fun.
Yeah. So
So
I
fun.
definitely had my like favorite moments, I feel like, from everyone, like each person, I think each person dropped like a minimum of 2 gems in there, and it's just like, so I was just like, I should have been walking around in there collecting these gems and getting ready to go sell these things or make a beautiful bracelet or something.
Literally so sparkly. Yeah.
So
So good.
shiny.
So good. So good. So I'm wondering if we have any questions from anybody in the audience. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat. And if there are any, we'll be happy to answer them. If anybody who watched who may be wanting to potentially work with a Pearl or even explore, just have a consultation, www.pinships.org is where you will find them. And we've made it really simple to be able to just log on there and book some time with the Pearl. You'll get a calendar invite, and it should be really simple that way. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I think when we first started Pinnacle back in 2018, we knew that we wanted to really stand in a space where we were creating family driven services and practices. And it's been a journey. We've heard a lot of no's along the way. But I'm just really excited that, now we have a full team of pearls and our team is growing and people are really starting to understand the value. I think that's one of the things that was highlighted in what we were talking about is some of the challenges around making space in a field that had been established within the medical model for this type of an innovative approach to mental health. And I just feel like our pearls are really killing it. They're making such a huge difference. They're going to IEP meetings with families, they're giving them advice, they're helping them to get organized, they're connecting them to the right providers at the right time. These are all huge things that make such a big difference in a family's trajectory. So it's really cool.
It is. And it's like watching our dreams come true. Like it just really is. There are just certain like times and moments, and I feel like this is absolutely one of them. Like we have this like I feel like checklist that we've always had of certain types of things that we want to do to continuously elevate lived experience coaches and continuously solidify this work as clinically valued work that is important and is oftentimes missing amongst mental health care teams and clinical settings, and there are just so many places where the Pearl service and lived experience people should be integrated, where we could be doing so much better by way of families and by way of the helpers of these families, right? Like all of these systems are overly taxed, overly stressed. It doesn't matter what state you're in or where you are. There's a wait list, right?
Yeah.
There's challenges. Like these things are really not happening in a vacuum. And so I think it for me is like one of the things that we have been always like shooting towards is we're going to continue to elevate lived experience across the field uh, and showing to oh my gosh, the dog just pulled the whole do you want to exit this room? Um,
Our chief of
the
cuddles is here causing mayhem as well. She's like, hello, it's
these
past
2,
my
they're
dinner
like
time.
they're like, "Shouldn't this after show be about us? Hello?" But yeah, I definitely think like there's so many places where lived experience people should be and can be, and the more we work to highlight this work and how important it is and how it really works, right? Like there's so much education about it in being innovative. And so I feel like tonight was like a, on our like checklist of things that we want to do.
Yeah.
And that feels like really good. It feels like reinvigorating of like all of the things that we're doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like, yeah, it feels like an accomplishment, to be able to really put forth a package like this and have people see, you know, what the pearls are all about.
Yeah.
Um,
See what these pearls can do.
see what these pearls can do. So, I mean, I feel like we are constantly getting questions around Pearl service. One of the questions that we get a lot around pearls is around training and qualifications, right? Because, we're talking about lived experience coaches, and depending on what room we're in, we might get the question, are these are the pearls
Are
clinicians?
you guys licensed?
Are they licensed? So, for anyone out there who may be wondering, the OGKG, tell them what the deal is.
So the deal is this: a pearl may or may not be licensed clinician, but that's not what their role is as a pearl. It's to really come from the space of the lived experience, and that's really what the expertise is here, is that lived experience combined with the coaching model and knowing how to be a great liaison between families and systems, or families in schools, or families in community-based organizations. And it's by way of the years of expertise that happens in the lived experience journey. And
Mhm,
so, do we have pearls who are clinicians? Yeah. Is it written in their bio? No.
mhm,
So, because that's really not the role that they function under.
mhm.
We have Diana as our chief clinical officer, but we really strongly, strongly believe in, somebody who has been walking day in and day out for 12 years with their 18-year-old child in the mental health system, and has sat in an emergency room and gone through an inpatient stay and had in-home therapy at the same time as in-home behavioral therapy, at the same time as outpatient therapy, at the same time as having a therapeutic mentor, and trying to figure out why all these people are here at the same time. And I don't even have time to cook dinner because there's always another person who's coming here. And here's how I unraveled all of that to make it actually work for my family. And now we're in a great place. And look at my 18-year-old go. They just graduated high school and they're doing all these great things. And it's that whole process of walking through it that is the expertise.
Yeah.
And there is 100% a place for clinicians, right? Like, yeah, we know that we need clinicians, we need the clinical insight, but there is also a huge place for the people who have actually walked this journey and can provide knowledge, insight, support with navigation. And Melinda said it great at one point in the roundtable tonight, that if we are not taking those opportunities, we're missing the mark with
Yeah.
families, right? To educate and empower them. Because as people who are working with youth and families, we know that we should always be working ourselves out of a job, right?
Yeah.
And eventually these families are not going to have these paid professionals, by way of the insurance isn't going to pay for it anymore. All of a sudden, something has changed. They don't have a qualifying diagnosis. I mean, I could literally sit here and give you the list, Diana, that we could probably generate, right? Of why all of a sudden somebody left. The the clinician left, the mentor left. Now your kid doesn't want to meet with anybody anymore because their favorite person in the whole wide world just left. And so the team completely falls apart. Like these are things that happen all the time. And when you're paid to be there, like a clinician in a clinical service, if the kid won't meet with you anymore, the insurance company is like, see ya. We're
Mhm,
closing this service. There's
mhm.
very small window of margin that they're like, stick in there, and we'll continue to pay for you to just talk to the mom, right? Like that's not it. And
Yeah.
so this is where like the Pearl service really one of the examples of where the Pearl service shines, because we know that eventually something's going to happen with this kid if in the middle of these services something has dropped out, right?
Mm.
So this is actually like goes right back to the roots of how Pinnacle started, right? Is I came to the field by way of my lived experience and everything that I had gone through with my son. And Diana was at the time just had her, not just, but one of the things that she's always excelling at, had her therapy practice where she was seeing patients, and since then has become a psychiatric nurse practitioner and had a very clear like clinical lens. And we really both had the like belief about the fact that systems were not serving families well, and that like this is the importance of the lived experience professionals, and that they're the real like missing, like we truly believe here at Pinnacle that lived experience coaches are the missing puzzle piece to the problem of mental health, especially children's mental health across the board. Like we have the answer. People who are not with us in utilizing the service or with have contracted with us to have this service in your school, organization, other place, like you're choosing to just not have the solution.
Literally. You're choosing to
You're
be
just
wrong. Why would
you're
you
just
ever?
Are you okay?
You okay? But I will say though, I think one of the important things to also highlight is that we also make sure that all of our pearls get extensive training, because just like any other profession, there's that continuing education. There's that like you need to stay up with the trends, you need to understand the best approaches and best practices. And so we do a lot of training with our pearls around various theoretical approaches that would be appropriate to use to work with families. And a lot of these approaches I learned as a clinician, and it was kind of like coveted. Like if you're a clinician, you learn motivational interviewing or you learn cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's like, oh yeah, but these concepts could also apply in a different way, in a different perspective, with lived experience coaches who are working with families to help alleviate some of the burden on the mental health system, right? And so all of our pearls get extensive training and ongoing training, and Christy works with them one on one, and we have our monthly meetings where we, go through and we talk about what's working, what's not, and just continue to hone our skills so that we are the best that we can be when we're working with our families and the villages that surround them. Because, I think another thing that I loved about this roundtable today was just how it highlighted that the Pearl service is not just for families. It's for families in the systems that serve them in the villages that surround them. And, so Pearl is for schools, Pearl is for organizations, Pearl is for families, Pearl is for the basketball coach, who might need a little bit of extra support and understanding what he can be doing in practices with that child or whatever the case may be. And so I'm just really proud that we've been able to build out a model that bridges all of those gaps. And that liaison portion of the Pearl acronym is really strong, right? And it really goes back to our original credence as Pinnacle Partnerships, right? That it takes collaboration. It takes us all working together, and pearls are uniquely positioned to be able to bring everybody together. And so I'm just really excited that that was highlighted, and our pearls were able to really articulate that in just the sheer examples that they were able to share of their own lived experience, as well as their experience providing these services.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself because the chief of Snuggles was over here snuggling on a cardboard box. Oh
I heard him barking.
my God.
He's so
Attention
cute,
seeking.
though. He's so cute.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that there are not a lot of times and opportunities that we have to be able to sit and specifically highlight the kinds of services and share some of the stories and in the way that we were able to with this roundtable. And I really look forward to doing this again. I think this was great, to as a way to test this kind of way of talking about what we're doing in a new way. And sometimes when we're talking about pearls, people get a little excited and like start asking so many questions that I think they sometimes lose the picture of what we're doing because they are asking questions, and we love that. But I think it's also great sometimes to be able to sit and listen to something, or to be able to sit and read something about what we're doing, and really kind of understand what the model is before kind of thinking about how to incorporate it into your organization or your school or your family. And so I think this roundtable really was able to do that, let people hear, the individual stories of the pearls and the families and some of the examples that they work with, and really that, I think one of the things that I always like to dispel about lived experience work is that it isn't about coming in and a pearl, walking through someone's door and saying, "So here's my story," and they talk for, an hour about everything that they did. Right? It's really about them coming in and learning about what is happening with a family and utilizing bits and pieces of their own lived experience to help that family with the specific challenges that that family has. And sometimes you don't even have to say a word about what you went through in your own journey. Just the fact of walking through the door and saying, "I have a kid that has mental health needs," is it, right? It's like, I always say, it's that like you had me at hello moment, right? Like you just understand that you understand, and you are onward. And other types of families, they really benefit from you sharing, like, yeah, there was this time that this happened in my experience, or that this happened with another family that I have worked with, right? It's like that cross section of the lived experience that happens as a community or as specifically as a pearl. And it's just that one little piece to help get over that hurdle, that challenge that that family is having, and not about like, let's walk in and add my whole family's history of trauma and challenge and mental health into this other family. It's really about being well versed in really knowing how to purposefully support families by using these like little gems like we saw tonight, to just say, like, if you just look at it with this much a difference of an angle, and here, let me show you how, by way of this example, that can change everything for a family.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like we talk about that, in our trainings, it's like it's sharing with intent, right? Because, and even as clinicians, we get that in our training because people go through things, and, can be a feeling that comes up when you're like, "Oh, you understand me." And it's like, all of a sudden you want to like talk about it. And so that's part of the training is, share with the thought in mind that by sharing this, it's going to help this family. But like you
Mhm.
said, it's utilizing those skills and the knowledge that you have to skillfully help the family to be able to navigate whatever challenge they're going through. So,
Yeah, it's an
yeah,
intentional process because it's a profession.
yes.
Like
That's
like I
right.
said in the round table,
Yes.
it's not a friend.
Yes.
Nobody's showing up with a bottle of bubbly and being like, "Hey, what do you want to talk about today?"
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's
Show up
not
with
it.
us on the podcast air dates to do that, but your pearl will
Exactly.
not be showing up with bubbly. Oh my goodness. Well, this was really amazing. I can't be more proud of our pearls, of our whole leadership team, of our head of marketing and head of digital marketing, Mark, producer Mark. Thank you so much for all of your work, countless hours of editing. That was a lot of footage that
Yeah,
he had
it
to
was.
edit. And our leadership team for helping us to, from concept to all the way to execution. It's been a
Mhm.
really wonderful journey, and I can't wait to do it again. I think the wheels are turning. I'm like, what else can we do? What's next? How else can we showcase the wonderful pearls on our team and all of the wonderful work that they do every day?
I know. Maybe it's having pearls on the podcast.
Yeah,
That would be
that's a good idea.
fun.
That would be fun. That would be fun. We'll have
Yeah,
to
there's so many
cook
ways
that up.
to think about it.
Yeah.
There's endless places that we need to promote and educate about the pearls, so there's no
It's
lack
true.
of that for sure.
It's true. It's true. This is just the beginning.
Yes, exactly. So, I think in the beginning, you said how people can get in touch with a pearl.
Yes. www.pinships.org. And Pearl is one of our main menu items. So should be pretty easy to get there. I don't know if Mark, if you can. Yes.
Ah, what?
Took the
On the
words right out
spot
of
on
my
the
mouth.
dot.
It's on the screen. But if you're listening, it's www.pinships.org, pinships.org, pinships.org.
Yes.
And
And for
yeah,
any organizations,
yeah,
um, schools, others who are interested in having pearls become a part of your school or community organization, there's lots of ways that we do that. Um, and pearls, as you saw in the roundtable, are so diverse and so knowledgeable and are fueled by passion and are just really here to do good work. And so um we have lots of different models to incorporate pearls into different environments. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can also contact us through the website. There's a contact us button that would probably be better, where you can just shoot us a quick message and we'll get in touch with you. And then Diana and I also do lots of trainings about family engagement, how to do family engagement well, wherever you are. Um, and then I think the only other thing to add would be for companies or businesses who are looking to maybe add a Pearl service as part of an employee assistance program. That's also something that we offer. And you can get in touch with us related to that through, the contact us at our website as well at pinships.org. So there's lots of ways to not only access the amazing network of pearls that we have and that is growing, but also to access Diana and I, and to really think about how having a pearl as part of your family or part of your organization or your business can really bring strength and health and mental wellness, not just to a one particular individual, but to everybody, because mental health is something that impacts everybody. It's not just the person with the diagnosis. It's all of the people. There's nobody who's like, "Oh, yeah, my kid has mental health." And nobody else in the family even really notices that. Like it is part of everything. It's part of what happens when mom and dad go to work. It's part of what happens at school. It's part of why the siblings are at each other's throats. It's part of everything. And so we are really excited to continuously work on bringing Pearl into places and increase the happiness and and create better culture, I think, especially in some challenging times that we're going through in the world today. So this is, like I said, a like dream come true, and one of the things checked off of our list.
Yeah. Well, it's been awesome. We love you all. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. We're getting snow here in Massachusetts, so I'm very excited. A
It's
lot,
sunny in California.
a lot of snow. It smells like snow outside. Okay, well, anyway,
Right.
I hope everybody has a great weekend, and thanks for coming to our roundtable.
Bye.
Bye.